Welcome back. Today it's going to be the first vlog for my game. I don't have a name yet for the game, so it seems a bit weird. My game is the old name. That's just so weird. Anyways, if you want to see a full introduction to what the game is about, in short, it's just a turn-based roguelike game, but you can check that out, link in the description. Take you to my main channel where I talk about that. On this channel, there's going to be two types of videos, which I said earlier. There's going to be tutorial videos, and there's going to be this vlog video. So this is not going to be tutorial series. I'm not going to show you how to do things in this video. I'm just going to talk about the game progress and what I think about things, think about the future, how things have progressed, and so forth and so on. It's going to be a short video, I think. So, first of all, I'm working towards a very simple demo. My idea is like it's going to be like 1 or 2% of the full game. It's very scoped down. So it's going to be, essentially here's what I'm going to create. I'm going to create one Blender file, which is going to be the entire character and every item that you can put on the character. It's not going to be that many items. It's going to be a plate set, a chainmail set. I'm going to show you this. One shield, one weapon, one healing potion, one bag, and one scroll. That's all. That's all there's going to be in that demo. Next thing I'm going to do, so first part I'm actually done with, the first part of this. Next part is going to be create one room in Blender. It's going to be like a dark crypt catacomb kind of thing with some like demon thing. I don't know if it's going to be maybe some gargoyles or something like that. You know, that dark gothic feeling is what I'm going for. That's going to be the next part which I'm going in. Gonna create that in Blender. And then the third part is going to be create the enemies. I think it's going to be quite simple. I'm going to create 2 enemy types that I've thought out. One is going to be the skeleton. It's very simple to create a skeleton, and it's easy to animate, and it's easy to create a death animation for it. Every bone just falls down or something. It's super. Just attach a rigid body to it, and it's fine in Unity. If you don't know Unity lingo, that's fine. It's not going to be super technical in this video. And then a demon type character, which is going to be some kind of small ghoulish type character. That's going to be the 2 enemies that you're going to fight. So it's going to be 1 room, 2 enemies, and you, essentially. And the only features that's going to be in there's going to be a start menu, which is just going to have, as you can see, I've scoped it I think I scoped it well, honestly, this time. So it's going to be a start menu. In the start menu, the only thing you can do in the start menu, you can exit the game, and you can start a new game. If you start a new game, you get into the character creation, where you can create a character. There's going to be a few things you can enter, like how much strength you want, how much intelligence and stuff like that. You know, role-playing stuff. But I don't think I'm going to... These numbers are not going to mean anything in the first demo. I'm not going to create the actual engine, so it's going to be, you know, like a fake facade only. But this is just to get something out there so that people can see, is this something like, if this was a fully functional game, is this something I would support? That's kind of the idea we're going for with this demo. Next screen is, of course, you get into the game, and you can walk around, you can equip things with your inventory, you can walk around, you can kill the enemies, you have maybe 1 or 2 attacks. I haven't decided if I'm gonna go for 1 or 2, but probably 1, just to scope it as simple as possible. It's not gonna be a fun game, but at least you're gonna see, like, could we make this fun? If I added the features that I talk about, is this the setting we're going for? Does everything look and feel right? That's what I want to gauge there. So, man, I talk a lot. I thought this entire video was going to be 2 minutes, and I haven't even gotten into Unity yet. Well, let's go into Unity then. Here we are in Unity. So, this is the character model that I'm creating here, and I think it was quite easy, honestly. If we talk about, I've been learning Blender, and I think Blender is something anyone can jump into. It's free, so just download it. Start creating, honestly. This is all created in Blender and Substance Painter. You use Substance Painter for the texturing, and Blender to create the models. And it's not that difficult, honestly. I felt like I learned, I'm not an expert in Blender. I made plenty of mistakes even with this model, but I'm gonna leave it at this. I can, of course, create another model, I can create other armors, I can create other things in the future, but this is just gonna be, you know, for the first demo, and then we're gonna be able to improve on this. So, if we talk about the mistakes that I made, one of the mistakes that I made is that every round surface that you can see here has a little bit too many vertices. It's not that bad, but it's kind of starts to stack up. As you can see, the helm has a lot of vertices, the shoulder pads on everything that is not super round. I think I did a pretty good job. Like, for instance, these edges that you see here is just from the normal map. By the way, if you don't know normal map, that's fine also. You're gonna learn all these things in in time if you start doing game development. So all these edges that you can see here is just something that I painted in Substance Painter, where you can paint the normal map essentially. But what I should have done with these round surfaces, I should have made them much more low poly, and then I should just have utilized the smoothing feature. There's a smooth normals that you can do in Blender so that almost anything can look around. Honestly, with that smooth shader, like anything that is not a cube can look around with it. So I should have utilized that more to get a little bit few vertices. I'm a little bit high in vertices, but not super high. I mean, it's fine because there's not going to be that many things on the screen. So there's going to be, maybe, if you think about how many things there's going to be on the screen, there's going to be the environment, of course, on screen. There's going to be you on the screen at all times. And then there's going to be, and this, by the way, is also a full set of armor that we have on. So there's not going to be that much added to it. And then there's going to be 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe tops there's going to be 8 enemies. And those enemies are going to be much, much simpler than this character. Maybe they're going to be 10,000 tris or verts or something. It's not going to be that much. Those guys. And also this is a lot unoptimized, you can see here. If you're into Unity, you understand these things. There's a shit ton of shadow casters here. There's a lot of things which don't need to cast shadows on this. We could probably turn this down to 10. Is what I think we could turn this number down to. Set Pascals we could probably get down to 30 or something like that. We don't need all these set Pascals. There's a couple of calls here which are unnecessary. We can batch a lot. There's a lot of optimization which not, but the only thing I've done there is I've just imported the model, and I've created some materials for different things, because they share, like everything that is a plate mail now shares a one texture. So plate mail is one texture, chainmail is one texture, and then everything else is one texture. So there's 3 materials essentially. Oh, there's skin also, so there's 4 materials. That's all we got working with. So now get into the actual game. How does this relate to the game? So this is the character, right? And we can move it around just to see how it looks. I think it looks super good, honestly. The Substance Painter thing was just such a shock to me how easy it was to create good textures. It's something I can definitely recommend. It costs money to use. It's like $20 or $30 per month or something, but I think it's definitely worth it. There's so many good features in that, and that's probably the only thing that I'm going to pay for. I mean, Unity is free, Blender is free, Make Human that I've used is free, essentially a GIMP is free, everything else that I use is free, so I think that's fine. So, about this character, as you can see, what I've done there is I've put everything in layers, I've attached... Okay, so here's the thing. Everything is modular, so I can go, for instance, and get the camera straight in front of this guy. Oh, we can go into the animation. You can see how this looks when he's being animated. So I think it looks pretty good. We can rotate him also. You can see how this animation looks. As you can see, nothing here is clipping, and that took quite a while to get. Like when I looked at concept art and of different styles of armor and stuff like that, a lot of the times if you look at like fantasy art, the armors don't work. Like when you actually put it on a character and they move around, everything starts clipping into everything. But as you can see here, there's essentially nothing clipping into... Oh, that's the wrong axis. There's nothing clipping into anything else. So how this is done is... we can pause this. Let's say I take off this plate. Under this plate's mail, there's a chainmail. And we can take off the... helmet. Under the helmet, there is the head, of course. And... we can remove this. And as you can see, all these parts are kind of modular, so you can just take them away one by one, and that's the entire idea behind the game. Like you can find, maybe you start off, you find a chainmail, like a dirty chainmail. As you can see, if we rotate this character around there, man, I want to use Blender commands. I feel like such a noob when we go from one program to another, like when you go from Substance Painter to Blender and then back to Unity, and everyone uses different controls for everything, and it's just so Control A, no, I can't use that here. Everything is a little bit dirty, everything is a little bit... It's not super polished, as you can see. Every piece of armor and everything is a little bit dirty. And for instance, maybe in the early game you find a chainmail, for instance. You can put that chainmail on. And then you might find a plate mail, and then it's not just chainmail or plate mail. You can put the plate mail on the chainmail. Then maybe you find a... Like later on, this is going to be like a mid-game kind of tier items is what I'm going for. It's not that super over the top. There are going to be items which are cooler or like more over the top than this, but those are going to be rarer. more end game item. I want, you know, the early game to be like you find a plank shield, a rusty sword, you know, the shit items. That's going to be the early game. And then of course as you progress you get cooler and cooler items and more stuff and stuff like that. But let's say for instance you find this chainmail. We can see how it looks without the chainmail logs. Giggity. The skin is also handled, as you can see, I have everything separated there. So there's the skin for the upper part of the body or the chest. There's the skin, so I can put on. It's almost like clothes. I handle it like clothes. You can take away the skin because the skin doesn't need to be rendered or anything when there's something on top of it. So that's why I have it like this. There's one for skin, one for boots, gloves, head, and so on. So here we can see how it looks when it just moves around. For instance, this might be how you start off, and then you find, for instance, this chainmail. Better put that. Chain chest, there it is. Maybe find the chain chest, and then of course behind the scenes it's going to disable the skin chest then. And then you might find a plate mail, you put on the plate mail, and then maybe later on you find maybe a finer chain chest, which is finer quality, so it looks a little bit nicer, not so sweaty, it's a little bit more polished and stuff like that. Maybe find a gold chain, or maybe find like dragon scales or something that you have, and then you can let layer on top, and that makes it so that the entire idea is that you can find more and more items. You don't run out of slot as easily. You have more and more slots, and you can find rare items. And maybe, for instance, this is not something that's going to be in the first demo, but later on in the game, there's going to be, for instance, maybe you have, for instance, inner shoulder pads, and then you have shoulder pads over, like the big shoulder pads that you saw earlier that go over on top on these. And then maybe on the shoulder pads you can add things like you could add a charm or something that's going to be hanging. Or maybe if you've seen 40k, for instance, they have these like seals that they stamp on, something like that, like a Templar seal or something that protects you from evil or something. You can have that on top. So you like layer just things on top and just create your character in your own way, depending on what you find, depending on how you want to build the character and so on. So also about this character, as I talked about in the earlier video, there's a couple of things. The belt, I haven't done that entire thing, like how they're going to be attached to the belt, but they're going to be attached to the belt, and they're going to be hanging essentially from the back here on his belt in different positions, so you can see all your items, you can see the scrolls you have, you can see the bags you have, and so forth. Everything that you bring with, everything is on your character, everything is visible. That was the original idea, and that's what I'm sticking to. So yeah, wow, it's already 12 minutes. I thought I could not talk as much about as little as I've got going here, but the next part, the next video is probably going to be when I've created the first room, and we're gonna have a look at how the character looks inside the room. Also, yeah, I did investigate if I should go with HDRP. In Unity there's the HD pipeline and there's the normal pipeline, but from testing around in HDRP, there's a lot of bugs, a lot of things which don't really work. In my opinion, there's a lot of things I tried with cloth, I tried with there was a problem with animations, problem with import. There was a lot of problems, honestly, in HDRP, just random issues that I ran into. Of course I found fixes for all those things, but it's just like, it feels to me like still standard. If you go with the standard edition, it's easier to develop. Sure, there might not be as pretty as if you go with HDRP. You might not be able to achieve as easily that visual standard that you can get in HDRP. But I think it's gonna save me so much headache to just go with the standard. First of all, I know standard, and yeah, all those bugs that I encountered in HDRP are not in this version. So I'm going to stay with the standard version. So next video is going to be, let's see, let's jump into this. Next video is going to be when I got the environment, and I'm gonna have a look at how that's gonna look. So yeah, that's pretty much it for now. Thanks so much for watching, and see you next time. Member shout out. Member shout out. Thank everyone so much for watching. A special thank, of course, to our dear members. Come on. Come. Thank you so much to Blue Dragon, Adam Alexis, Magic Pistolman, Simon Lauer, Rodney Cox, Herman M, The Soft Pillow, Snick, Shamanic, Spencer Hofsty, Alex Michael, Nathaniel Lizard, Laces at the Stun, Xer234, Jeff Henry, Leaning Into It, Michael W, Pocky U, Matthias Pauly, Topless Investments, Kronos 1107, W Lutz 1978, P Label, Peter Gold, Sean Stevens, Gabriel Juvenile, Taldex, Wisa Q Delate 23, Way, Messmok 1, Ye Old Basses, Dingo Scrub, Crew the Barbarian, Link is Weak, Rainbird 2002, 4K Television, You Like Moonlight Star, Breakage 2000, Dave Stair, Jurassic Fort, The Swamp King, Rage Notch, Simple Human, Badass Ivanab, John Domyan, Gesuzaki, Own77, Sam Williamson, Ellie Curtis, Noah VH, MC Hermes, Phasix, Fumiaki Kinoshita, Acros Ascending, Jacob, Walker Florent, Damn Drone, Steve Draminski, Strange Brontice, Donkey Kong, Skysurfer Zero, Tim Dutton, Jake Denley, Santa John, Steiner Bucken, The McDunkin Clo, Rob Acuna, Chase Closed, John Lacav, III, Honza Cost, Jingai, Michael Cupido, Agony Reborn, Ramen Noodles for Me, Nicolas Zanotti, Nethervex, Andrew Blank, Aaron Noble, Adam Alexis, Betsuma, Brandon Dobbs, Callisis Missile, Carlo Balumbo, Chloe, Coop Cooper, Dan Goodsell, David Hannell, David Newman, DBK Drummer, Dingo Scrub, Dr. Jaden, Drew Styles, Ventum Tantum, Freeman Stephenson, Jeff Georgie, Infant Draw, Javier Diaz, Kayson, Magneto, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, Neo Terror, Ninja Longnome, Rango Mango, Piotr Staloritsk, Potte, Prince Mok Bagok, Esquire, Rainbow Cake, Serge Karamarv, Super Noodle 7, Wonderbread, X Covenant X, Mythic Gaming, Musketeer, Mr. Thule, Tom Cute, Michael, Robert Lewis, Yoma Saho, Adam Ruth, Retcon, Butt with Ass, Barbara McCannell, Name the Epithet, Dear Lurgoif, Stricker Mike, Toffer Scott, 7Guy777, and Brian Wood. You guys are amazing. If you also want to become a Dark Disciple and help rule the underworld, check out the join button next to the subscribe button, or check out my Patreon, link in the description. Thank you so much for watching, and see you next time.
Oh, just thank you to our badge owners on Patreon. Thanks so much.